Pat Boone was born Charles Eugene Boone on June 1st, 1934, in Jacksonville, Florida, and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, at a time when American music was on the brink of dramatic change. From an early age, Boone stood out not just for his pleasant singing voice, but for the calm sincerity he carried into every room. While many performers chased flash and rebellion, Boone gravitated towards steadiness, discipline, and faith, qualities instilled deeply by his upbringing. Those traits would later define both his career and public image. As rock and roll began electrifying young audiences across the country, Boone emerged as a counterbalance, someone who embraced modern sounds while remaining approachable to families. His presence felt reassuring rather than provocative. Even early on, those around him sensed he wasn't simply trying to be famous. He wanted to connect, to uplift, and to create music that could be enjoyed across generations without sacrificing his personal values. Breaking through in the 1950s, music explosion. The 1950s were a seismic era in popular music, and Pat Boone found himself at the center of it. As rhythm and blues crossed into mainstream culture, Boone's smooth interpretations of contemporary songs brought the new sound into American living rooms. His clean-cut appearance and gentle delivery appealed to audiences who might otherwise have been wary of rock and roll's raw edge. Boone quickly became a chart powerhouse, earning hit after hit with songs like Ain't That a Shame, Love Letters in the Sand, and April Love. At the height of his popularity, his record sales rivaled even Elvis Presley's, an extraordinary achievement that placed him among the decade's most influential artists. Though debates followed about musical appropriation, Boone's success was undeniable. He represented a bridge between generations, helping to normalize emerging sounds while maintaining a sense of innocence and romance that resonated deeply with post-war America and its evolving cultural identity. Hollywood stardom and the wholesome leading man. As his music career soared, Hollywood quickly took notice. Pat Boone transitioned seamlessly into film, becoming one of the most recognizable faces of late 1950s and early 1960s cinema. Movies like Bernardine, April Love, State Fair, and Journey to the Center of the Earth showcased his ability to combine musical talent with natural screen charisma. Boone embodied an idealized version of American youth, optimistic, respectful, and sincere. Studios valued him as a symbol of reliability, someone audiences trusted. While critics sometimes underestimated his acting, viewers embraced his warmth and ease on screen. Boone's films reflected the era's appetite for family-friendly entertainment, and his presence helped define what clean Hollywood stardom looked like at the time. More than box office numbers, his success in film cemented him as a cultural fixture whose influence extended far beyond the recording studio. Experimentation, growth, and unexpected roles. As the 1960s unfolded, Boone began exploring roles that challenged his established image. Films like The Horror of It All and Never Put It in Writing allowed him to experiment with comedy, satire, and European filmmaking styles. These projects, often shot overseas, gave Boone the chance to stretch creatively and step outside Hollywood's familiar formula. He later appeared alongside major stars in Goodbye Charlie, and joined an ensemble cast in the biblical epic The Greatest Story Ever Told, a project that resonated strongly with his faith. While he was no longer the central box office draw, Boone remained a respected and adaptable performer. His later work, including The Cross and The Switchblade, reflected a deeper, more serious tone aligned with his personal beliefs. These films marked a transition from youthful idol to reflective storyteller, signaling Boone's willingness to evolve while remaining grounded. Faith, family, and a life beyond fame. In 1953, at the height of his early rise, Pat Boone married Shirley Lee Foley, daughter of country music legends Red Foley and Judy Martin. Their marriage became one of the most enduring partnerships in entertainment history. Together, they raised 4 daughters in a home rooted in faith, music, and stability, an uncommon achievement in an industry known for turbulence. Boone often credited Shirley as the anchor of their family, providing balance while he navigated the demands of fame. Their commitment to Christian values shaped nearly every aspect of their lives, from career choices to charitable work. Shirley's compassion eventually led her to co-found a small hunger relief effort that grew into Mercy Corps, now a globally respected humanitarian organization. Her legacy of service left a profound impact far beyond Hollywood, reinforcing that the Boone family's influence extended well beyond entertainment. Longevity, reinvention, and cultural respect. While many stars of Boone's era faded from public attention, he remained engaged, curious, and relevant well into later decades. Boone continued recording, performing, writing, and even collaborating with younger artists, often with humor and self-awareness. He never clung desperately to his past success, instead embracing change while honoring where he came from. This balance earned him respect across generations. Boone understood that cultural tides shift, and rather than resisting them, he chose to adapt thoughtfully. His willingness to laugh at himself and experiment musically showed a humility that endeared him to longtime fans and new audiences alike. Longevity in entertainment often requires reinvention, but Boone's secret was consistency of character. Even as styles changed, his sincerity remained unchanged, allowing him to remain a recognizable and trusted presence long after his chart-topping days had passed. A quiet friendship with Roy Orbison. Among the many artists Pat Boone encountered during his career, Roy Orbison left a lasting impression. Their friendship, though not always publicized, was built on mutual respect rather than competition. Boone admired Orbison's haunting voice and emotional depth, qualities that contrasted sharply with his own lighter style. According to Boone, Orbison was intensely private and deeply sensitive, a man who poured his soul into every performance. Behind the iconic sunglasses was someone constantly questioning whether his work would endure. Boone later recalled conversations where Orbison expressed doubts about his legacy, an astonishing thought given the timelessness of his music. Boone recognized that this vulnerability fueled Orbison's artistry. There was never rivalry between them, only appreciation. Their careers followed different paths, but Boone understood the quiet pressure Orbison carried, and that understanding forged a bond rooted in empathy rather than ego. Reflections on legacy and truth. Now in his 90s, Pat Boone has grown increasingly reflective about the people and moments that shaped his life. With time comes clarity, and Boone has spoken openly about wanting history to remember artists honestly, not as myths, but as human beings. In discussing Roy Orbison, Boone emphasizes respect, humility, and truth. He believes it's important for fans to understand the emotional weight many performers carry behind the applause. Fame, he notes, doesn't erase insecurity, it often magnifies it. Boone sees himself as a witness to a remarkable era and feels a responsibility to preserve its stories accurately. These reflections aren't confessions or revelations, but thoughtful acknowledgments of shared humanity. For Boone, telling these stories is less about correcting rumors and more about honoring the quiet struggles that often produce the most beautiful art. A life that continues to echo Pat Boone's life and career span one of the most transformative periods in American entertainment history. From the birth of rock and roll to the modern music landscape, he has remained a steady, thoughtful presence. His legacy is not defined by controversy or excess, but by consistency, faith, and genuine connection. As he looks back, Boone understands that success isn't measured solely by charts or box office numbers, but by the lives touched along the way. His reflections on Roy Orbison serve as a reminder that behind every legendary voice is a person navigating doubt, hope, and creativity. Even now, Boone believes music carries memory forward, and as long as those songs continue to play, the spirits of those who created them, Orbison included, remain alive, hovering gently in the air, just as Boone remembers them.